What's up, y'all? Good morning. Today we're talking about not living in fear, not living in fear, and how to get out of a paralyzed state of your life, how to move forward and do amazing things. All right, so what I need you to do is share because sharing is caring. All right, so give us one moment. We're going to bust this joker out. Be right back. What up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, AD Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. I appreciate you guys for being here. Rocking, don't stopping, don't rocking. Make sure you are joining our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss a broadcast. Never miss what's going down with the Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you do what I'm doing right now. Make sure you are sharing because sharing is caring. We appreciate you guys for being here, being a part of all that we do. Um, Thank you guys. Hey, good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Mama McCory. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Lisa. Um, so, so thank you guys for being a part of all that we do. Make sure someone just gave me a like. Make sure you do whatever, who's ever did that. Let me see who did that. Mr. Jeff Carlin gave me a like. Make sure you do the same. Hit that. Just look. Okay, it's this way. It might be that way or the other way. Hold on, let me. Looks just like this. Hit that. If you're on the Facebook, hit that. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that. If you're in the LinkedIn space, I think they got a like button too. It's green. It's green. So make sure you are doing that. So again, we appreciate you guys for being here. Another day, another broadcast. We're gonna make it happen. I have my man Teller, aka Kaneem Curve, in the building. I don't I don't know who Teller. Maybe I think he's shaking his head. Maybe I'm even saying it wrong. Am I saying it wrong? Okay, he's giving me the yes. He's gonna correct me when he comes on. Teller, Tila, Tila. Okay, y'all know who Tila is. I'm assuming it's a Houston native, Houston or Atlanta native. So I probably I'm gonna say she, they, them, they, her. At least a hit. There's always a hit. You be like, oh, I know that. It's funny because I went to a conference some months ago. Eric Thomas was hosting, and a guy, he's like a millionaire, probably close to a billionaire now, but he's owned, he's owned some great products. I think is it Uber? One of them, but he's made some great investments. But he was most known for the Knicks theme. Remember that song, "Go New York, go New York, go New York," and he was the one. He was the rapper. And he's white rapper, young, because he told a story of how he was invited to a concert. I think it was a Stop the Violence something, and of course, they were trying to get diverse, and Vanilla Ice wasn't available, so they got him. So they got him. He was the replacement for Vanilla Ice, which is fine. Listen, if you are of a particular persuasion in a space where other persuasions dominate, know if there's only 2 or 3 of you, you're going to get called to represent, even if you're number 3 in the nation. If you're black in a Japanese or Chinese music space, and there's only about 2 of y'all, and one is killing the game, and you just doing all right, know that you're gonna get your shot. That's a message. That's a word right there. When you step into a space when there's not many of y'all, know that you may not be the best, but you're gonna get called, because one day the best won't be available. And right. Not a complete loser though. Jeff, I can't. Jeff, if you had an album, Jeff, I don't know if I could just put you on. Not a loser. You gotta at least have a hit though, Jeff. You gotta, like he had Go New York. I don't know what else he had. At least Vanilla Ice had a couple of songs that were rotating, outside of Ice Ice Baby. I know no one probably really remembers them. If you heard them, like, oh, I remember that. But you're gonna get called. That's a word. If you get into a space and not a lot of people, you're gonna get called, especially if you become popular. So know that. So if you're in that space right now, let me just encourage you to stick to it. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to kick this off. I appreciate you guys for being here. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host again, Mr. A.D. Walker, the pusher, the glory, the motivator. All right. Oh, dang it. All right. I'm going to throw on my intro. I done messed up. It's Wednesday. It is Mental Health Wednesday. I've had such a week. All right. We'll be right back. Let's go. Mr. Reparations in the building. Hang tight. Let's go. I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy. Change gon' come. 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 A co-op has to start with ownership. Right. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Mm-hmm. Because this is covenant.
The whole premise is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this general possible, often vested in the legacy.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is the word, gentlemen?
What's going on, fellas?
Man. Hey, y'all say that for offline. Hey, y'all don't. Hey, y'all. It's a new thing in Atlanta that's just gonna blow y'all mind. I had to tell you.
Okay, let's go. What you got?
Say left.
You can't.
Morning.
Hey, Sam, come on. Sam.
Morning.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
All right.
Morning.
What's going on? What's the new thing in Atlanta, my brother?
He says it's offline, man.
You don't want me to say it right now, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You know what?
Yeah.
You done hit me with the warning twice.
Yeah. Can't blame him after that.
Sam gonna be in the comments. He gave you the warning. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna leave that offline. That's why
Yeah.
we're gonna do a Patreon. We're gonna start with the extra
I should have asked you in a text, but it's all good.
All right, listen, we're gonna get chatting when we get started. Just shoot me in the private chat, and we'll see. We may throw it in there. So today we're talking about not living in fear. And I got Mr. Matt Genius. I think he's coming through. I got thrown off this week. Keeping the 100, I got thrown off this week, and I usually give my brother a little more heads up on what I'm gonna talk about. But I think this one is broad enough. He can attack this. I'm sure every other client has dealt with this in some way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna bring him on, and we're gonna kind of dig into it. So listen, everybody, I need you to share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Again, I'm bringing on. His name represents who he is, Mr. Genius, just with a J, but you put a G on it. Same thing. Smartest brother I know, next to myself. But he's a certified counselor, and he does some great work. So I'm gonna bring him on, you guys. So he's one of them. You ever had them weeks like, whew, just getting too much going on. Got too much going on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. Oh, Kaneem looked like he was frozen.
I was gonna give you Tila.
Oh, Tila, yes. I'm gonna bring my folk on. You can explain who Tila is. Let's get Matt in the building and Pastor Brian A. McCrory.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. God bless you.
So as y'all like to know, I love hip hop history. So Tila is the gentleman that I was talking about, and if those hip hop historians may know about Suave House Records, he was he was a part of Suave House Records back in the day.
Wow, Suave House Records. Anyone?
Yeah, Suave House. Good morning, everybody. I didn't get a chance to say good morning. Good morning,
Good morning,
guys.
good morning.
How you guys doing?
Indeed. Okay. Suave House Record. Okay. Tila. What's her, right?
No, it's a dude.
Okay, him. What's his hit?
Show Enough. Show Enough was the name of his hit, but the hook was Girls in the Club, Show Love.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pastor? No recollection? No.
Yeah, so just a little hip hop history for those that may forgot.
And I know he's kind of do working, but E for Mr. Reparations? No. Show Enough? No. All right.
So he on mute anyway.
He is on mute. You muted.
He's on. Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm good with all that. They hate on anything. They're gonna cut you off anytime it's not New York. Yeah. I'm good.
Wait, hold on. Pause that. I didn't even say that.
It was implied, bro.
I didn't imply. I didn't say nothing.
That's they set up.
I was just asking because I'm trying to figure out.
He mutes you, and then Sam gonna come with a comment. That's how they do it, bro. They tag team you, bro.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that.
But no.
Oh man.
Good music. Good.
Y'all know who Craig G is? Y'all know who Craig G is?
Who?
Craig G. Lewis?
Craig G. No, just Craig G.
Oh, okay.
Rapper. Craig G.
Craig G. I know
Craig Mack.
Right.
I know
Craig Mack.
I
Y'all
know
know
Craig
Craig.
Nice.
See what I'm saying? That's he is
Craig-
like the dopest freestyler, horrible record maker.
Greg G.
Craig
That
G.
title goes to AZ.
AD said, "See what I'm saying?" He didn't say, "Nah, me."
Now I mean was past my generation. That's what I'm really saying. If I say it, it's jokingly. I'm more. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? And not saying anything. Know what I'm saying? All right. So let's dig into that. All right. So appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you, Matt, for coming through.
Oh man, it's a pleasure.
Let's see. So today, talk about not living in fear. Now, where you going with this? So today I want to kind of discuss, making moves or making decisions or just doing things in life not out of fear, but Jeff said Harry Mack. No idea what that is. Making making decisions that are built around moves that'll help you or moves that are good or bad, either making the decision or not making the decision to move or to do something, but not doing it or not moving in a space of fear. That's a negative. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got to read that question first. You got to read that question, put it in context.
What's that? Oh, let's see.
Don't read it out loud. Don't you do
Okay.
that now.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about the one I put in now?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
that question.
yeah. Hey, that's
you talking about that one? Oh yeah, we're going.
I just found that out, and they actually had a video of the server and the restaurant.
Oh, okay. All right, he was. Oh, sorry. We on that. We private chat, guys. Private chat. We're gonna bring it back. Bring it back. All right. So we're talking about living in fear, like fear of talking about certain things on this platform. Fear of throwing certain things out there.
Yeah.
Not sure how it's going to be received. Real talk. Like certain things, like I talk with several people about things we're going to discuss, and I've had a conversation, and we're like, will this platform will it be received well? Will it be received with a bias? Will we have thoughtful conversation? Right. I mean, even if we get at each other about it, will there be movement? Because I don't want to go back and forth for the next 45 minutes and there's no movement in the conversation. That, and if anybody understands this platform, that's exactly, it's for everyone here on the platform as well as those watching the platform. My goal is to have conversations that move the needle, even if it's just a slight bit.
Right.
Even if I get someone that disagrees totally, I'm gonna just throw Matt because he ain't on here a lot. If Matt is like hardcore someplace, he could be like, you know what? There could be a possibility. I agree with that. So he said you ignore it. Talk about it. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. Damn. But I do want to delve into things that are difficult conversations to have. And yes, sometimes we handle them not in the most sensitive manner. Because one, there are conversations that we've never had publicly or even together. And you're trying to formulate the thought process to have them. And I'm saying that because, we get into certain spaces that we're new at and you're just like, you feel funny. You're like, I don't know about that one. Like, I don't know really how to respond to that one.
Look, brother.
My manhood and my sensitive parts are having an argument right now. Like, I don't know what to say. My masculine part is like, I don't know how I should feel about that. How could I be truthful about that situation, having never really had the conversation either out loud or in a public space, right? So the living in fear, even the fear of having certain conversations, like being in a space with one social thought and you're coming with a contradictory social thought, like, I see what you're saying, but what if that, like, situations, because we kind of had it here, situation where we've seen a video of a police altercation with someone of color, mainly Black, and I try to dice it up like, well, try to see the whole picture, but unfortunately, because it's been such a violence against us, it's like everything you see, you feel like, the police didn't have to do that, But I try to look at it from his side or her side, like, well, it was a hot situation, It's easier after the fact to say they shouldn't have, but
Yeah.
in response, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things you got to be like, well, every fight's not the same.
Right.
You got me nervous with all this preamble. What you about to do?
I'm taking y'all somewhere.
The intro is very, very detailed.
That's that context. You need context.
So let's dig into that, right? The not living in fear, because at first it was going to be like a purposeful, financial, those moments that should I make the jump, should I make the leap, should I make the move? But is there ever a fear to really be yourself in every space that you're in? You understand what I'm saying? When things are brought up, we've all worked in public spaces where certain discussions come up and you're in a room based on small conversations, where people stand.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you're like, and it comes up and it's not even like, hey, Kaneem, what do you think? It's just said, like if someone was just like, hey, well, during slavery, they at least earned something. Like how do you, do you ignore it? And you're like, or, you're like, well, and they like the boss, like, they're like the worst. They're like not the boss, but like the boss's boss. So you're like, there's going to be some level of repercussions after I speak my piece, but you just got to be like, well, it is what it is. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, or do you just ignore it or try to ignore it, and not say anything?
I don't know, man. You put a lot on that. Some of that is fear, but some of that is respect. You know what I'm saying? You got
that's good.
When you say my boss is boss, you got to respect the position. I'm not fearing the man, but I'm gonna have to respect the position, though. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
But it's casual conversation, though. It's casual conversation.
It's still everybody. Position. Well, I'm thinking work environment. Let me say.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm talking. Exactly where I'm talking.
Okay.
Exactly where I'm talking. Not like hanging out. Yeah, we all hanging out. Oh, you ain't the boss no more.
You that dude. Work environment. You
walk away.
You would be foolish not to respect the position. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So don't get me wrong. If y'all have a rapport, y'all got a pretty cool relationship, and y'all done threw a couple of jabs at each other in the past, you know what I'm saying? Then it might be good. But if y'all ain't, on that level and y'all interaction is at a minimum, respect the position.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then some people try to feel like their opinion is, they got such a hot take. This is burning. The world got to know this. If I don't tell them this, they ain't gonna have a good day. Like, like check yourself, bro. It's when it comes out, popular or not, it's still just your opinion. Like, and there is no political angle that is not debated on somewhere on no matter how big or small the platform. So it's covered. If you don't say it, trust me, it's out there somewhere.
Okay.
Right? So I agree with that. Respect the position. Respect the workplace.
I think a part of it is not just the respect for the boss. I think sometimes is our own internal lack of confidence that get us to just do that one down thing. Like we know we have something of value to present, but I think sometimes we shrink in those opportunities, and they are opportunities. I think every occasion where we have to exchange, to learn, to grow, there are opportunities. But I think sometimes, at least what I'm hearing, is that we could just take that one down position, like, no, I'm good, or just be quiet as if, you don't have value to present, and I think sometimes we go that route based on an internal issue that we have. It probably has nothing to do with the people around us, but we are fearful of judgment. Right. We're fearful of acceptance. We're fearful of rejection. And so we just keep it quiet. I've been in that position. I have a lot of friends that are adult, just like I am, that are still in that position. We just can't sometimes feel like as a black man, you can't speak up because if you go too far left, there's judgment. You go too far right, there's judgment. You stay neutral, you don't got nothing, you know. So it's like, so what do you do sometimes? And I think that has become something that's crippled us, you know, and caused us not to move because a lot of our internal dialogues just stay on the inside.
Right. That's
So
good.
we're talking about different situations and we don't, and it's not black and white, right? We would respond differently in different situations. But I asked before you speak, what's the purpose of you speaking? I'm about to be in a meeting in a second where people will talk just to talk. The business has been handled 6 minutes ago, but because they feel the need to say something, to add something to the conversation.
We're not referring to that one. We're not referring to that person. You know, I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about value added. I'm talking about
Well, see, I'm with you on that, man. Because I was thinking what AD had said about it was social commentary in a work environment. You know what I'm saying? It ain't had nothing to do with the job or the work.
Right.
Okay. Social commentary in a work environment. How far would you go with your? And I'm saying you don't know if you're not in a cool relationship with the higher ups. Right. You may want to keep your social commentary to a minimum to respect the position because they may be offended and you not know. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and your personal opinion can mess up some of your work stuff too. That's what I'm saying. Judge the conversation. There is nothing about my job where my political take makes a difference. You feel what I'm saying? We talking infrastructure, tech, and cloud. They ain't got nothing to do with voting, right? So if I mention that, even if it's a conversation I feel like having, because I do feel like having conversations, then that's just my, it's just my opinion. It's not necessary to my job. So like, I don't know if it's burning to say that.
I think that was more specific than general. You know, I think that's a more specific situation. He went from general to a specific scenario. And I was trying to bring it back to the general. Because I think more of us are stuck rather than feeling awkward to just, give social commentary. I think a lot of us remain stagnant because we feel that where is my opinion? Where are my thoughts valued? Where are where are the things that I have to share valued? Is there a circle to where I can share openly without feeling like it's going to get rejected? I'm going to sound stupid. I don't sound educated enough. I don't have enough, and so sometimes we just like don't say anything, and I think we have a lot of value, we have a lot of value to give. And so I think sometimes the fear of those things, of rejection, of failure, of sounding inadequate and so forth, keep us from, moving in any direction sometimes.
Right.
That's a good point.
Have you ever had a time where you regret not inputting?
All the time, man. All the time. Yeah. And sometimes I regret inputting, because of when I did input, the fear actually realized because it was already in my head, Wow. Like, it was already in my head that,
what is that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
oh Lord.
Ain't nobody gonna, my opinion is unpopular anyway. It's just the stereotypes just, feeding myself, and then I'll be like, you know what, let me try. And then boom, in my face, nope, ain't nobody, so I think there is a time and a space, and I think you were right, Mr. Reparations, you have to have the context of the conversation sometimes to make sure that this is a space for you. So it's both.
Gotcha. My homeboy was riding in the car, and he hit a guy on a bike. Talked about it later, right? I ain't gonna call his name, but my boy, I was talking to him. I was like, man, that's it's messed up, bro. I got hit on the bike. He was like, yeah, I saw the guy coming. I said, hold on, why you ain't say nothing?
Wow, that sounds like premeditated, right?
But bro, like in I guess in like the way we like in that culture, I guess was kind of like it's uncool to say something. You feel me? You let him drive, you let him handle his, you feel me? It's like that kind of messed up, whatever. Yeah. And he saw the guy coming on the bike. I can't say for sure if he saw that my boy didn't, see him driving, but
I got you.
Obviously he didn't see him, and he hit him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if and when I was talking to him, I saw no signs of regret for not speaking. because sometimes we place like the code or whatever you want to call it, we place that higher. You know what I mean? We place that higher than our own internal need to say or add value to a conversation. But if he would have spoke up, that would have been pretty helpful to somebody. You know, so you know, it's times where we got to speak up.
Okay. Pastor, what's kind of your take as far as the public conversations or conversations? Do you step in? Do you not step in?
I'll let you answer that. I stay in trouble, right? But again, for me, I think it's just based on your principles,
right?
It's your disposition. I think somebody said it earlier. It's based on the environment, the topic at hand, and how strongly you feel about it. Right. You know, if something goes against my core values, and I think that there's going to be fallout, I'm going to open up my mouth regardless of the consequences. Right. Just doesn't matter. I've taken those risks because I've learned. I have experienced the downside of keeping my mouth closed when I should have said something.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I am, and I think it comes with age too. I'm more willing to say something today, respectfully. Right. I'm not in it for a fight or a debate or anything like that. I'm in it to share a position or a different perspective.
I like that.
Might we consider this? Is there possible? You know, it's those types of phrases that I'm always willing to put on the table. I learned that a long time ago. Because for me, yesterday was an example.
Yeah.
Right. We had a conversation and it kind of the way that the information was presented, it hit me in an awkward place. And so I had to go back to what I believe about the word of God and my stance, because when I leave this conversation, I still have to operate in the church, in the pulpit.
Right.
And I can't sit idly by and let something be spoken here that I am in opposition of based on my stance, and then have a witness to my character, my personality, my integrity, see that happen or hear that happen, and then call me out on it later. Well, why didn't you say, you do all this, you say all this over here in the church. Well, why didn't you? So for those types of things, I have to maintain a sense of awareness.
I got you. Indeed. So they're not living in fear. So I will say for myself, I'm less likely, and that probably shows, less likely to say, and I've had those regretful, man, I should have just jumped in on that mother, like later on. But I get the tactfulness. I think mine, I never go hard, but when things are said, sometimes my tactfulness of coming into a conversation, maybe like, man, that don't even make sense. And unfortunately, I know once you hear that, you're defensive. Like, oh, we about to fight now. Like, oh, it's gonna be an argument. Like this ain't a thoughtful conversation.
Yeah, like, should I tell Jeff right now that he spelled dissonance wrong? Is that offensive?
Hey, leave my homeboy alone. Leave my homeboy alone.
DISSONANCE.
Nope, that's his word. Dissidence.
Leave my homeboy. They trying to get on you, bro. You can't do spell check.
There you go. See, look, like that. It's serious fault. It's serious fault. There you go, Jeff. We've all done it. We called and I text. I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Look, Jeff, Siri said, you said it.
Oh, he said I tried to use Siri because I couldn't spell it. Right. Siri said it's the best way to spell it.
There you go.
Oh man. So going to you, Matt. Like, how do you process getting out of your head and getting into a conversation? Like, Pastor's quick to kind of speak his mind. Like I may not agree with everything he says, but at least he'll speak up and say it. It's just he just jump in there. And there's been spaces he jumped into. I was like, he went up on respect in certain spots where most folk wouldn't have said nothing. You know, he kind of like he stood his ground on certain spaces. But you know, like how do you get out of your head? You know, like what is what is the process of getting out of your head when fear grips you into it's a lot of things like conversation and networking. Like I've said before, like I like Kaneem. He kind of just, oh, that's who got the money. I'm going over there talking. You know, like that. That's the one with the opportunity.
I'm right
That's,
there.
right. Like he would be that dude. Like, hey, what up? And I'm like, yeah, he's in this, he's in that, he's in what? I'm going over there.
That's it.
You know,
That's
and he just, you know, like he could kind of jump into a lot of conversation. So, you know, Kaneem talks about gleaning from us. I glean that a lot of that stuff from him, his outgoingness, his ability to kind of jump in there, find his way. Like, well, it didn't work, but it's all good. I tried. You know, like, you know.
I think you get to a space where your growth is evident of how you speak. It doesn't matter where you are and who's around, and that's a work that we each have to do on our own. Right. You know, we have to admit that for men in general, there has been a lot of programming that kind of creates this anti-campaign against fear. Like that stuff isn't real. You know, when I heard this topic, the first thing I pulled up on my phone was the Bone Crusher song. I don't know if you guys remember Bone Crusher, Never Scared, right? That was like an anthem for black men. Like, we ain't never scared. I ain't never, right?
I even pull my shirt off.
Listen, bro, listen. You play that song right now. It don't matter where. People will start moving. You already moving, right? So that's intense programming. That's very, very intense program. It's repetitive. They say it about 8 times per chorus. You know, so you're feeding yourself a language that translate into an understanding, that translate into a feeling, that translate into an inaction, and an action of us being stagnant in spaces where the fear is there. And what fear does internally is that it cripples you. You know, it causes you to be in a space where you're not thinking as clear as you can produce, meaning your intellectual capacity diminishes. It also causes you to lose short-term and long-term memory. You ever study for an exam, show up to that exam and your mind go blank? You know,
I know that answer.
Right. You know, I studied all week. That's fear. That's anxiety. You know, that's what happens when you are living in that. And I think a lot of us get to those points where fear is taking control of us, but Bone Crusher's in our head. Listen, shout out to Bone Crusher. It was an amazing song, right? I'm not trying to, you know, I'm just saying is the programming that comes from not just the music we listen to, but the movies we watch, the stories we read, you know, a lot of that stuff is inside of us as well, you know. And I'm very open by, you know, and telling, you know, you guys that, you know, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. You know, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. I even went to study theology for some period of time. And one of my bailouts, one of my go-to still now, till this day, is 1 John, I think 4, where it says, there's no fear in love. Perfect love casts out all fear. That right there just changes the atmosphere for me, because I understand that so intrinsically, that fear is something that it's internally and it deals with the consequence that we think that's coming our way. And so if I can't see the consequence, if I know my life is destined for greatness, then the fear can't be there as well. I have to replace that fear with the understanding of self-love first. I love me. And then the love that the universe, my higher power, my family, my kids, all that it has for me allows me to cut through certain spaces, certain conversations, certain understandings that I am not here to cause anybody damage. You know, I'm just here to understand. And my understanding creates spaces for other people to desire my understanding as well. You know, if I'm trying to understand you, that opens a window. You'd be like, okay, I see that you gave me the space to be heard, right? And so there is no fear in the exchange because I am respecting you. That's what Pastor talked about earlier, making sure we are giving and we're speaking from a place of respect, but it's also a space that we're not being crippled by the idea of the consequence of what fear will bring if we act.
I love what you said, Matt. 1 John 4, because that's for me too. That's the first thing that I thought about, and secondary. But you said I'm sorry, you neglected to say the second part or the third clause of that, which is fear has torment. And that goes back to your comment about right. And it's prison like. It stifles your mind. You talked about memory loss and things of that nature. And it causes you to be stagnant. Fear makes you still, not do anything. And that's the torment of fear. But he says perfect love casts out fear.
All fear, right?
Casts out all fear. So now you recognize that love is critical,
right?
But the other piece of that is knowing that God has, like, fear is a spirit,
right?
So when you're fearful, that's spiritual warfare,
right?
And it's not provided. It's not given by God. God said, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Right. So there's so much to unpack with regards to that. But first and foremost, you must recognize God did not put us here to be fearful.
Exactly.
Right.
He did not. That is not our call. That is not our purpose. So that's the first thing that you understand. So now when I find myself in that state, I understand what to rebuke about what I'm feeling.
Right.
And how to deal with that.
Indeed. That's good. That's good. Dealing with that.
2 Timothy 1:7. God has not given us a spirit of fear, just in case somebody want to know.
Reference. All right. So
you gotta take it to the Bible.
Oh, yeah, definitely that fear, that getting out of your head, that space, dealing with it and not being caught up, is big. It's big. I think it, and like you said, that programming, but just into that bone crusher programming, I think
Bone crusher.
Shout out to Bone Crusher, man.
The realities that you face, and the things that people say, I think people speak more fear into you than they speak taking a risk.
Oh yeah.
I think every part of your life is you need to be careful of this. Yeah. Well, don't do that. Like growing up, like, what if I, and I feel like in the 90s, maybe like not so much, because with the advent of YouTube and things like that, you do something like, how you gonna make money with that? You gotta be here to really make some money. Especially you got any mind or idea to go into music. Oh yeah, you about to get shut down.
That's me. That's me right now. That's me. I'm the 40-plus-year-old rapper.
See?
All right. And it's like a lot of the fear that I had before had to be thrown out the window to actually exist in this genre, trying to create content that people could actually be interested in. So I have to get out of my own way. I mean, a lot of that language from the programming is still in me, from my parents, from society, from my professors. I had a professor, he would start the class by saying, don't do it. Don't you do it.
Shut up.
Whatever it is, he'd be like, don't do it. And I'm like, So it's in us, man. It's in us to just not create safe. That attempt. Yeah, man, be safe. Just stay right in the lines, And I think sometimes we don't really get a chance to really live fully.
Right.
Until we start, getting out the way of what other people may feel or think or understand of you, that limits you from actually showing the interest in the things that you're actually interested in.
Right. The understanding is a big part, because like sometimes when you hear people stopping, quote unquote, our dreams, it always comes off as if they're a hater. Some people just are, drunk with fear and out of concern. They tell you don't do a thing.
That's their love. That's their love language.
It's showing straight love.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a big part of that, because we got to understand a lot of stuff we talking about involves risk.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So you're trying to buy multiple properties, that could put the single property you live in danger. You know what I'm saying? And you need to be aware of that.
Right.
You want to walk big, you want to walk bad, you want to wear a lot of chains. That can involve a lot of risks. Some people might want to take those things. So just sometimes, people are trying to put an awareness, but it does very much come off that it's better for you not to do nothing at all, and then you're safe as possible. You know what I'm saying? But if they would just give a balanced breakfast, if they would give the caution, give the warnings, but also take you to the library. Well, we don't do library, but let you look on Google. You know what I'm saying? I heard you talking about you want to try this. They got a town hall meeting up the street. Let's just go for 30 minutes.
Let's go. Right.
Let me show you what this thing is you're trying to get into. Something like that. Whatever the example is. But like, if it was a balance, I think it'd be better received. But everybody not a hater. Some people want to, don't want you to get shot.
I was listening to Kevin Hart was talking about. I think he said his brother. I think his brother. He said his brother's like the most negative person ever. He said everything. He said, I told him I was going to buy some property and some acres, and he was just like, you know what you're doing? He's like, no, but I'm gonna figure it out. He's like, I got enough money to try this thing, And he was just like, if he followed that lead, he would not do anything. It's that. And it's like, we always get into the friendships and cutoffs, and you hear people, you got to cut them off. It's not necessarily you got to cut folk off. You just can't let them be your guiding voice. They can be a voice, but they just can't be that guiding voice. Because especially if you're talking to somebody that's older, that has been through some things and they've had bad experiences, it's like every bad experience, they get more and more in their box. Like, and it's like, nothing works. Stocks don't work. Property doesn't work. I tried it.
I'm gonna fight you just on that term. I agree with what you're saying, but they can be a guiding voice. Can I put what you're saying this way?
Let's go.
Just don't let nobody be the determining factor to why you do it.
Right.
Because ultimately it's up to you. But I can seek counsel. You guys can guide me. But like when I do or don't do, it needs to be on me.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm with you though. Like I just think determining factor might be a.
But I think like when you consider guiding voice, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking to us past, we can't hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just backing up what he was talking about. A guiding light is not always taking you to the right place.
Right.
Sometimes a guiding light is the aversion to something horrible.
Right. I got you.
A lighthouse says, "Don't come this way."
Right.
You're gonna hit me.
Yeah.
Right. And so for some people, I think that, don't do that, because of their own experience.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. They're trying to lead you away from something, but that's what I love about David. David said when he fought Goliath and they gave him their weapons, the weapons that they use for warfare, he said, these weapons have not been tried by me. Right. And what's significant about that statement, David didn't say these weapons don't work.
Yeah.
David said, I've never tried them.
Right.
So let me go with what I know, what I'm
100%.
confident in. Right. And someone could look at that and say, are you scared of the spear?
Yeah.
I mean, truly. And for me, avoiding something is not always attributed to fear.
Okay.
Sometimes, and please help me with this, Doc, Matt Genius, because sometimes recognizing the consequences, there's certain risks that I have taken in my life, knowing that the consequences were going to be rough, but I counted up the cost and said, I'm willing to risk those consequences.
Right. That's what it comes down to.
Because it's worth it for me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I go through when I open up my mouth and I talk in certain situations.
I think that's right on target, man. When we talk about being led by a particular spirit, and you said fear is a spirit, what is the other spirit that's leading us when we do cut through those scenarios and speak up? That's when you're aligned. You're aligned. You understand that, I am going through a space that is unknown, but I have a knowing in my own security. I have a knowing in my own success that it doesn't matter what other people may think or feel. Mm-hmm. My judgment is based on something solid that I have had results in my life consistently, And I think something that E said earlier was about, our family members not necessarily hating on us. I love that. They are actually sometimes our guardians, based on their ill experience, the ill experiences. And so one of the things is that they may be trying to protect us from the rejection that they are afraid of.
Big time.
You know, like because they you know, sometimes it's a vicarious experience. Like, oh man, you know, I told this dude not to, you know. So now they're embarrassed based on our failures, and I'm like, you don't have to feel that way, man. I can manage my failure. My failure isn't what you think it is or how you
manage
interpret
my
it.
failure. That's good.
Exactly. You know, I can manage it in a way that's healthy for me. In fact, I don't even see it as a failure. I see it as a lesson learned. I gained from this, you know. But for them, it's like, oh man, you fell hard on your face. Everybody was watching. You know? Like, so we can't learn. We can't learn if we don't put ourselves in those positions where we're uncomfortable at times. You know, and that's cutting through the fear based on being aligned with that right spirit.
AD, what about the other side of it though? Like, we always see the people that kind of, you know, stop us from going forward. What about the folk who had success and trying to talk us into a path? You know, how many times, you know, you signed up with pyramid schemes, get rich quick ideas, you feel me? Like, and you know, people that bother me, those people that get on and, you know, like Joe Budden said something about that too. Like, you know, if you're working a 9 to 5, you're not serious about your dream. Like, I'm not going to lie. Those people kind of bother me a little bit. You know what I mean? Because
that's still fair. That's still fair.
Different path. You know what I'm saying?
That's still fair. That's still fair from another perspective that is dealing with control, right? So if I can keep you in a state of anxiety, I can sell you more stuff. You know?
That's good.
Think about the Super Bowl. I love the Super Bowl because I don't watch it, but I used to watch it a lot. But the point is, like, at the peak of it is where they sell their best commercials, where we are super anxious. What's going to happen in the second half? Is my team going to come back? Is this team going to, you know, like, and so now you're in a state of high anxiety. Boom. $1 million commercial. $1 million commercial. $1 million commercial. Doritos.
I do need some Doritos.
We're going to spend $1 million on some Doritos? You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm here to get mad money.
Because we're in that anxious, because we're in that anxious state, we're so quick to say, yeah. And so, it's going to put you in a scarce mentality to say, if you're still working a 9 to 5, you're not hustling. You know, we only got 2 slots left. You know, you better get this book. If you don't get this book, you're not coming up.
So I look at it, I mean, honestly, and I'm glad you brought that up, E. I look at it from a perspective of, so this is the other end, right? If my driven or success helps them, then it's kind of biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I hear you, you know, because I was at anxiety. Yeah, man, at 9 to 5, you gotta do this, I gotta do that. Can't sleep, don't sleep when you're dead. You know what I'm saying?
Because of death.
Right.
But you know what? But something Matt said was so significant because I love it. That's why I pulled out my wallet. I was being funny, but the reality is, that's why people hate, like when it comes like the Super Bowl, that's why people hate the Dallas Cowboys, because they're so afraid that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. So just hate on them all season long. I don't always hating because of that.
That's good. That's good.
Right? Make it make sense. I don't see the connection. I'm not quite understanding what's happening here. You know, that ain't been 30 years.
You like what I did there? You like that? That's good. Huh?
I like that.
I see it. You can block him out at any time you're ready.
I got him.
That was a bad dad joke right there.
He got it. He gonna get him in. He needed a timeout. I was expecting something profound. I was like, maybe I missed something. Let's hit him with a thundery.
I was ready for it. I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be good.
Hey, but you know what's funny, Eddie? The people who put us onto those schemes, we never see them as haters.
Right.
And they almost like if Matt Wright, you know, Dr. Matt Wright, you know what I'm saying? It's like they preying on us. They see victims.
Yeah.
Everybody told you no. Oh, well, come here. I'm gonna tell you yes, and you don't need no money down. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no good credit. All I need you to do is come down here and sign this, and you good. You know, like so. But we never see them as haters because they tell us yes. So there's a maturity to us in pursuing our dreams. Yeah. So everybody who says no isn't a hater. Everybody who says yes isn't for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we I think Matt said that, like that managing your failures piece. Like you got to kind of manage your emotions a little bit here. Like you trying to do something that you haven't done before. Right. You might be trying to do something that hasn't taken place in your family before.
Right.
You know, so like that's big, and you got to like manage that. You know, you'll be like a roller coaster.
Yeah, because I mean, even in sharing what you're gonna do, like I always, when you're excited, like I can share with Ephraim, he can get excited, because I could lose everything. It don't affect his life. Like whereas I, talk to the family, they're gonna give me the real, like, but if it don't go good, we gonna lose everything. So so I do judge it as that circle as well. Like even when you talk to your, if you have your parents or those that like are invested in, if something goes, they know I have to be there to help you, like, because not really obligation, but I can't let you just fall on your face like this. So I'm gonna try to give you the real, like, if this goes bad, this gonna cost all of us. Like this, you're about to affect all of us,
Yeah, man.
So those conversations as well. So I'm making that clarification as well, because some people are like, yeah, I'm gonna just do. Remember, people are attached to you, so your downfall affects other people. You definitely need to have those conversations and understand the full risk. Like, we always get back to counting up the cost. Knowing what you're building, knowing what you're creating, knowing what you're getting into. That's a big factor. That's definitely a big factor. So, and like I said, Ephraim, when it comes to like even the MLMs, it's more advantageous for me to join that person. I can get in because I'm not only gonna make money for myself, I'm gonna make them money. So they're selling me something. There's the hype from that. I think joining in and they're saying, hey, I'm gonna take you under my wing and teach you this real estate game. Like there may be down the road, they know my investments become their investments, but I'm learning, I'm growing. There is some risk involved with them as well, because their time, so those kind of people I'm with. But I'm with you on the people that are on the outside trying to sell me something. Yeah. And the words of pastor, miss me with that. So miss me with that. Yeah, I'm done with
in the words of Brian. That's the book.
Right. Brian. That's Brian E's term. But yeah, definitely. I love this conversation. Because a lot of our life has been surrounded by fear. With babies, they'll jump off a crib. They'll run in the dark. They'll run across the street. Like without thought. Like just I ain't got to look. I ain't scared. There's nothing. I ain't scared of nothing.
That's interesting. Quick story.
Yeah.
My firstborn child was probably 7 or 8 months. And I remember standing in a garage with my buddies.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
Right?
Yeah.
And the garage door was up. And this was one of those old metal garage doors, a single big door. And it was manual door. You pull it up. And I was playing around and I put her up on the top ledge or the bottom ledge of the door. And she was able to put her hands up there. And I let her go and she held on. 7 months. Now, obviously, if the mother had been around, I'd be in trouble.
Right.
Still might be in trouble.
But me and the guy, we stood around like, oh, look at that. And she laughed.
Right.
But she held on.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed her and I was like, let's do it again. And she wouldn't do it the second time.
Wow.
She wouldn't hold on. She put her hand up, she raised her hands, but she would not hold on because 7 months, man. She was like, you're not getting ready to put me up there again.
That first time was survival.
Right.
It was natural instinct to grab a hold.
Yeah.
And then after that fear set in.
Right. Yeah, definitely we are. The fear is kind of trained in us, and from our experiences and what we hear, I think it's just having, dispersing the healthy fear, having the slow concerns and things of that nature, is definitely key, because I know for me, I've missed opportunities being afraid, being fearful in network spaces or opportunities or business opportunities you hear. And he was like, I can't believe I didn't go in on that. I can't believe I didn't just jump in on that, hindsight 2020. But definitely, how do we disperse between the healthy fear and the unhealthy fear?
I think you got to make sure that you're in position, right?
Okay.
If home taken care of, and that taken care of, however you define taken care of, because some might say you need 6 months worth of mortgage saved up. Some be like, I had a deacon at my church said he went retired to the house and the car was paid off. Like, there's certain levels, whatever your comfort is. If that's straight, you slowly slip out of that desperate mode. And when you're not desperate, you can make some sound decisions. You still can miss. You still can get it wrong. Warren Buffett miss out on certain stocks. You get what I'm saying? And he the best to ever do it. So it's still, you're going to miss some. That's all right. But if you're positioned, if you straight, if you got home base covered, you won't feel like that one missed. I think Netflix was like $15 a share at one point in time.
Right.
All right, so I missed it. We still eat pork chops over here. You feel me? So you won't. But if that's all you got, it's just this one move. Desperation has served some well, and many times, and sometimes you get there, right? When you hit rock bottom, you got nowhere to go but up. I'm not talking about that life-changing moment where you stop playing like a little boy and become a man. Right. I'm talking about just when you're pursuing your dreams, your passion. If you can get home base straight, right. Go, so don't buy the Jordans, pay your light bill. If I can just put it practically, right? Don't be doing things that you can't afford to do, right. Because sometimes it's not about all the money that you need to make. If some of that money won't leave your house, you know what I'm saying? Cut the cable cord, get Netflix. You feel me? Right. Whatever. I don't want to get into that. Whatever your way is of surviving, right? Right. If you stable, then some of these decisions don't seem like life or death. Is my whole point. That's all I'm saying. And then when we're desperate and money floating by, it seems more like, man, this opportunity I just can't miss right here.
Right. Right. I feel you. All right. Anybody else want to chime in?
I think the point that I was clinging to just a minute ago was the types of fear, right? Right. Because we are to fear God and keep His word. Right.
Yeah.
That's a reverential fear.
I like it.
Right. Then there's a fear that is based on the Greek or phobos, which is phobia. Right. There's that type of fear, and then there's the I'm afraid of ghosts.
All of them, Casper too.
Right. Yeah, right. I think that's like Dahlia, I believe is what it is. But there's different types, different translations of fear, but they're all contextual in nature or in definition. And so we have to remember that. Sometimes I think it was you, Kaneem, said it earlier on, almost an hour ago. You talked about the respect for the position. Right. Yeah. That's that reverential type. And not like someone is God, but they are the head. They are the lead. And so you have to reverence that position that they hold. And so there's that type of thing. I don't want to rub them the wrong way because of what could happen. The consequences could impact me and my livelihood. So I think those are, to me, those are the healthy fears.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I would just really quick say we just have to check in often with ourselves, like be aware. I think sometimes it's in us, but we just don't know what is guiding us at the moment. Right. Spirit again, and so if you have the opportunity, and we all do, check in with yourself at least 3 times a day, to see where you are internally with your mental, with your emotional, even your physical, because all of those are great indicators of our fears. Check in with yourself, see what you're thinking, see what emotions are dominating your heart. And then if it is what it is, if it is where it needs to be, great, press more, do more of that. But if it's not, learn what you need to alter that state sooner than later. Meaning if you are more in an unhealthy state rather than a positive state, find out what you need to get to that positive state more often than not, and implement that as much as you need to stay in those positive states where you're not being controlled by fear. The last thing I'll say is that look at your receipts, man. Look at your receipts. Where we are isn't where we should have been. A lot of us. And so look at those receipts, man. Create a resume. I got to say this off camera, but you got to create a resume sometimes that doesn't reflect what the corporations want to see. You got to create a resume, meaning you got to place something in your head that people don't need to know about, that you survived. You know what I'm talking about. Like you got out of it. Some really sketchy situations. That's what you got to play in your mind, because that's a receipt. That's evidence of something greater in your life that can definitely combat what's coming in the future. Look where you came from, man. You know, that's evidence right there.
I do it all the time, bro. I do it all the time.
Talking real good, sir.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I learned that the fear of failure is failing.
Right.
Nobody want to be a failure.
Right.
Pastor, some people, you could add to that. Some people have a fear of success.
Right. The fear of success is failing. Right. Absolutely. I've said that to people. Oh, you afraid of the accountability that comes with making it.
Right.
That's
good. Count me in. I'm ready. You know, I'm like, ding dong, who's there? Let's go.
Right.
You know, I'm so
that's good.
But I do have to exit early, fellas. I really appreciate this conversation.
Okay.
I know I got to get out of here.
All right. So listen, hold on.
Part 2 coming soon.
Yeah. So listen, man. Yeah. One. Yeah. Remember what you wanted to tell us off camera. We can talk about that later. And 2, the check-in. That could be a whole nother topic as well for next week. Checking in with yourself. We can get into that.
All right, brother. Enjoy the day, man.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Blessings. Yeah.
All right. So appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Kadeem, did you want to share something before we get out of here?
Not that what you put in the message.
Yes, sir.
Oh, listen. I just got approval for that one. So let's go. I'm putting it up.
You got approval for what?
I got my question.
You are, okay. I thought you meant his question.
No, it is. Yes. His question. His question.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah, we going.
You are lying.
She's like, go ahead, do it.
Read the question again.
Do you then? Do you?
Nah, bro, that was a threat. She wasn't saying do it. She was saying go ahead.
Go boy. I got text. We're gonna argue over the text. Let's go. So today's weird question: do you think your wife would allow a naked female server for y'all dinner date? I guess serve you for dinner date. You know, like she's coming serving for dinner.
A restaurant waitress, whatever you want to call her. I just said server.
Your wife will be fine with, like, she just roll up with, I guess, nothing and just drop off the dinner, asking you what you want. Would you like you want tea? You want lemon with that? You want ice?
Yes, all that.
They come back. They might be the lean over. Got to do the lean over. Here, let me put the stuff on the table.
She ain't got no clothes on. She better have extra room for me at least. So, let me tell you, I ain't coming back here. I already know.
No, I saw it and I was like mind blown again. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Really?
That's in the air.
Mama Corey.
Old girl came out there with apron, an apron on.
Okay. It's a strip club.
What? No,
just a regular
club. No strip club. No strip club.
Oh, you're saying this actually happened?
Yeah, I saw it. That's what I'm saying. I was looking at the video. That's why I asked you what. Okay. The question in the video is, would your spouse allow you to have a naked server? You know what I'm saying?
So here's my question.
Okay.
Because she gonna have some questions too. So
all right, let's go.
Is your spouse sitting down at the table?
Yes.
No, both of y'all are there.
We had dinner.
Okay.
We just chilling.
All right. Dinner. So that means your spouse had to walk through the door.
right. Seen the booties already? Like just
located. All in prep for the location.
Already. Walking around.
That means your spouse knew what restaurant you were at.
The hostess might have clothes on. Right. I hope the cook got some on.
Right.
Yeah. Is there only one wait person, only one server in the restaurant?
What I saw was only one person.
Let me see. When I walk into a restaurant, I scan the restaurant.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Right. I don't know who doesn't.
Yeah, definitely.
You see servers.
Yeah.
So you have to get to your table.
Right.
You know where you are.
No, I'm saying the intent is to go to this place where they have naked servers. I'm saying.
Okay, so having the conversation prior to you saying like, hey, babe,
you know where you going. I'm not.
We're going to.
So would your wife entertain? So the question is, would you?
But I'm not trying to surprise nobody. This is already information that has been shared.
You said I want the better.
Right. What I'm saying is, I'm saying that the question is,
I know that.
Having the conversation with your spouse, would your spouse be open to going to a
Would you
venue like that?
Would you?
No.
I almost thought you were gonna say yeah. I was like, really?
But neither would I.
Right.
Because to me, it's unsanitary. I don't want naked people around my food.
Well, you ain't never been to a strip club, then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's all you gonna get at the strip club with naked people around.
First of all, I have been to a strip club, but I didn't go there to eat.
Drink, whatever the case may be. It's still
open. I don't want nobody nasty butt juices in the air. Wow.
Thank you. I'm not. No serving food. No naked. No. Sorry.
And that's in Atlanta. That's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Was it in Atlanta or do you know?
That's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mr. Rich, you gonna make it happen this weekend?
Don't even tell me the street. Don't even let me know.
Like I say, I had never seen it before. I didn't think it was a thing because it's not a strip club.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go to strip club, you get bar food. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Depending on what strip club you go to.
Right.
But most of the time you gonna get bar food. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to upscale, you might get
my confidence isn't very high for an establishment like that.
He said, I don't want no nasty doo-doo diggers serving food.
Yeah, you know this.
All right. So appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Oh, wait. He said, wait. So you have went? I don't think anybody went. No, I think it's like he saw a video. You saw a video.
No, I've been to plenty of strip clubs, but I didn't go to this spot.
I just seen the video. All right, so we appreciate you guys for rocking with us another edition.
Shout out to Magic City.
Wait, hold on. Last thing, they surely ain't frying.
The cook got clothes on.
Ain't nobody got no air fried chicken wings out there.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, take over now, Lord. I need you.
We see you guys tomorrow.